Good morning. This is the news at dawn. My name is Adetola. I take with first the headlines. Northern APC governors insist on power shift to south. Police recover 3 unexploded bombs following Owo church attack. 7 persons feared dead. 4 others hospitalized in Imo community. 32 journalists confirmed killed in Russian-Ukraine war. Now the news in full. Northern All Progressives Congress APC governors have insisted on power shifts to the south. They spoke after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, Simeon Lalong, who led others to the meeting, also disclosed Buhari has not anointed anyone yet as his consensus candidate. 13 out of the 14 APC governors from the north at the meeting told State House correspondent that they were resolute on their decision. Their position contradicts the earlier announcement of the Senate President Ahmad Lawan as consensus candidate of the APC by the national chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Governor Lalong told correspondent that President Buhari has requested the governors to have a meeting with the National Working Committee (NWC) of the party to resolve the issue of consensus candidate through democratic means. Meanwhile, the presidency says no one could or should claim to have single-handedly engineered the emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2015 general elections. This claim is contained in a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media Publicity, Garba Shehu. It would be recalled that former Lagos Governor and national leader of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, had raised some dust last Thursday when he claimed that without him, Muhammadu Buhari would not have emerged the president in 2015. Reacting in a statement entitled Comment on the Statement Made by a Leading APC Flag-bearer Candidate, Malam Garba Shehu noted that the past should not decide the outcome of the next general election, adding that what mattered today is to elect a candidate that will make the country better than it has ever been. The coalition of northern groups, CNJ, has warned that the ongoing seizure and destruction of Okada motorcycles directed by the Lagos State government allegedly target only northern operators and therefore completely is unacceptable. In a statement by spokesperson Abdulaziz Sulaiman, the CNG noted that it is insensitive that the Lagos State government would, in just 72 hours of announcing the ban on Okada, seize and subject 7,548 bikes, mostly owned and operated by northerners, to the crusher. This, he claimed, is not only a catalyst for further conflict, but also a clear contradiction of sections of the Nigerian Constitution that declared null and void any law in any part of the country that conflicts any of its provisions, especially on the right of every citizen to live and flourish in any part of the country without discrimination or harassment. It also called for the urgent intervention of the federal government to ensure the protection of the right of the northerner wherever he chooses to live in the country. This is the news at dawn, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Iroyin, Okebale, Osogbo, Voice of the West. Now, a mid-news message. Security of lives and property is a collective responsibility of all. Don't be a saboteur. Aftermath of Sunday's terrorist attack of the St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, that killed over 50 people, the police force headquarters says explosive ordnance experts discovered 3 unexploded bombs at the church premises. This is contained in a statement by the police public relations officer, CSP Muiwa Adejobi, while giving an update on the investigation. According to him, also recovered by police investigators are plates of expended AK-47 ammunition, while the explosive ordnance devices, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear explosives units confirmed the use of explosives as fragments of the IEDs used were found. A man identified as Kislin Oguze his daughter, and pregnant wife, including 4 other persons, were mysteriously found dead in their apartment at Oboku community in Obinze, Owerri, West Lekki government area of Imo State. Reports indicate that 5 other persons were admitted in the emergency unit of Umuguma General Hospital, where they were battling for survival over an alleged mysterious sickness. The incident, which threw the community in confusion, saw the victims rush to the hospital for medical attention, but shortly after their arrival at the Imo State Specialist Hospital, Umuguma in Owerri, 7 members of the family out of the 11 victims were confirmed dead. It was, however, gathered that another family source that some people suspected to be assassins broke into the roof of the late Kingsley's apartment while they were asleep and sprayed chemicals suspected to be poison. Meanwhile, police spokesperson for Imo Command, CSP Michael Abatam, had not reacted as at the time of filing this report. Ukrainian President Mr. Zelensky says Russian forces have the upper hand as Ukraine's troops try to prevent the fall of the eastern city. Russian government, however, accuses Bulgaria, North Macedonia, after they reportedly blocked its foreign minister from reaching Sarah by closing their airspace to its jet. Russia has, in the meantime, warned it will respond to Western deliveries of long-range response weapons to Ukraine by pushing its forces away from Russia's border. Meanwhile, Ukraine's Culture and Information Policy Minister says at least 32 journalists have been killed in Ukraine since Russia's war began. To end the news at dawn, here again are the major points. Northern All Progressives Congress APC governors have insisted on power shift to the south, saying President Buhari has not anointed anyone yet as his consensus candidate. Aftermath of Sunday's terrorist attack at the St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, that killed over 50 people, the police force headquarters has announced that explosive ordnance experts discovered 3 unexploded bombs at the church premises. A man identified as Kingsley Ugoze, his daughter and pregnant wife, including 4 other persons, were mysteriously found dead in their apartment at Oboku community in Obinze, Owerri West Lekki government area of Imo State. Ukraine's Culture and Information Policy Minister has claimed that no fewer than 32 journalists have been killed in Ukraine since Russia's war began. That was the news at dawn, edited by Lateef Agbola and delivered by Detola Adegbite. Today's news talk by guest writer Adunade Amawo is entitled "For Nigeria Economy to Survive, an Enabling Environment as well as Spirituality Must Abound for Survival."
In 1950s and few years after independence, Nigeria stood tall among the Committee of Nations. The period witnessed the groundnut pyramid in the northern part of the country. Cocoa was in abundance in the west and coal in the east. They were the mainstay of the economy. The discovery of oil at Oloibiri in the early 50s, which ought to have brought prosperity and life more abundant to the teeming population of Nigeria, ironically served as the beginning of poverty and economic woes to the country. What are the indices responsible for the downward trend of the Nigerian economy? The answer is not far-fetched. Suffice to say that the accumulation of the following negative indices are the clog in the wheel of Nigerian economy. We have mismanagement, ethnic jingoism, religious crisis, most especially Boko Haram, kidnapping, and recently the emergence of Bado boys in Lagos area as well as Niger Delta Avengers. Most importantly, our rickety political structure, corruption, and many more. The present situation is making the investors to shy away for the fear of being kidnapped or attacked. The industries had collapsed. In fact, one can aptly say that few industries in the country is running. Countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, India, and China, which initially ranked with Nigeria in terms of economic development, have steadily moved up to join the rank of first world countries, whilst Nigeria is still flexing muscle among third world countries. The example of Singapore needs mentioning. Singapore obtained her independence from the colonial masters in 1964. No sooner had Singapore obtained her independence than the then Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, transformed the economy of Singapore from being a third world country to the group of first world countries. With that rapid economic development, the other world powers were marveled and asked Mr. Lee Kuan Yew to explain the magic he performed. Mr. Lee told them that he did not perform any magic, but what he did was to study the incorrect indices of his economy and attended to them correctly. It is therefore disheartening to observe that Nigeria, with numberless of good brains, could not and cannot find solution to the incorrect indices of our economy. Hence, Nigeria is presently wallowing in a state of economic mismatch. People are no longer relying on the ability of these best brains to redeem the image of lost glory anymore, but rely heavily on the intervention of Almighty God, who is competent to transform Nigeria from our economic mismanagement and downturn to a land flowing with milk and honey. Newstalk believes that with the present economic situation of the country, people are tired and have lost confidence in human brain, but rely heavily on the intervention of Almighty God, who can produce capable men that can put an end to any insurgents, an end to ethnic jingoism and corrupt practices, as well as civil upsurge that would affect the socio-economic situation plaguing the country. Newstalk is of the opinion that Nigerian economic ship in the open sea is stagnant. Having paddled there and there, the ship still refused to move. Let us therefore continue to pray to God to salvage the country's economy from the claws of economic backwardness.
That news talk by guest writer Adunwade Amao was entitled "For Nigeria Economy to Survive, an Enabling Environment as well as Spiritual must abound for its survival." It was presented by Olushola Egbodofo. For more about us, you can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening to the news that's done. Good morning.
Iroyin ní kutuai o lórí rédíò Ọ̀ṣun. Iroyin ní kutuai o lórí rédíò Ọ̀ṣun. Ìròyìn tó yí kóró, ẹ̀kọ́ tó múnádóko la ní kí ẹ wá gbọ́ o lórí rédíò Ọ̀ṣun.
Ẹkùn gúúsù ilẹ̀ yìí nípò ààrẹ kan. Iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá kẹ́fìn àdó olóró mẹ́ta ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ nínú ọgbà ilé ìjọsìn táwọn adàlúrú kọlù nílùú Ọ̀wọ̀. Èèyàn méje dèrò ọ̀run nínú ilégbèé wọn nípínlẹ̀ Imo. Oníròyìn 22 ló ti pàṣẹ ogun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin Russia àti Ukraine dèrò ọ̀run. Ìròyìn ọ̀rẹ́ lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn gómìnà lápá àríwá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti ní apá gúúsù ilẹ̀ yìí nípò ààrẹ kan. Wọ́n sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìpàdé tí wọ́n bá ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ṣe. Alága ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn gómìnà ọ̀hún Simon Lalong tó darí àwọn akẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ lọ síbi ìpàdé náà sọ di mímọ̀ pé ààrẹ Buhari kò ní ààyò kankan lára àwọn tó ń gbèrò àti díje fún ipò ààrẹ lábẹ́ àsíá ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC. 13 lára àwọn gómìnà 14 ọ̀hún ní ìpinnu àwọn kò yí padà. Ìpinnu wọn ọ̀hún yàtọ̀ gédégbé sí ohun tí alága ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC Sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ Abdullahi Adamu sọ pé ẹgbẹ́ ti pinnu láti fọ olórí ilé aṣòfin àgbà ilẹ̀ yìí Sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ Ahmed Lawan kalẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùdíje. Gómìnà Lalong ṣàlàyé pé ààrẹ ti ní káwọn gómìnà lọ ṣèpàdé pẹ̀lú ìgbìmọ̀ àmúṣẹ́yà ẹgbẹ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà. Iléeṣẹ́ ààrẹ ti sọ dímọ̀ pé ẹnikẹ́ni kò lè sọ pé òun ló ń dá ṣiṣẹ́ lórí bí ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ṣe jáwé olúborí sípò ààrẹ lọ́dún 2015. Èyí jẹyọ nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tí olùrànlọ́wọ́ ètò ìròyìn àti ìpolongo fún ààrẹ Garba Shehu fi síta. A rántí pé lọ́jọ́bọ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá ni aṣáájú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu sọ pé tí kì í bá ṣe tòun ni ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari kò bá ti jáwé olúborí lọ́dún 2015. Garba Shehu sọ nínú àtẹ̀jáde náà pé ohun tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́yìn kò ní nǹkan ṣe pẹ̀lú ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ bí kò ṣe láti yan olùdíje tí yóò máa yípadà ọ̀tun bá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ju bó ṣe wà lọ. ikọ̀ àwọn èèyàn apá àríwá ilẹ̀ yìí ti ṣèkìlọ̀ pé àṣẹ tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó pa pé káwọn agbófinró máa gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé àwọn ọ̀kadà kí wọ́n sì máa ba ọ̀kadà tí wọ́n bá gbà jẹ́, èyí tí wọ́n ló fojú sun àwọn ará Òkè Ọya tó ń ṣe ọ̀kadà nílùú Èkó kò bójúmu rárá. Àtẹ̀jáde kan tí agbẹnusọ fún ikọ̀ náà Abdulaziz Suleiman fi síta tọ́ka sí pé láàrin ọjọ́ mẹ́ta tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó kéde fífòfin de àwọn ọlọ́kadà, ó ti gba ọ̀kadà bíi 7,500 àti 52, èyí tí wọ́n ló jẹ́ tàwọn ará apá Òkè Ọya ilẹ̀ yìí. Àtẹ̀jáde ọ̀hún ní irú ìṣesíbẹ̀ tako abala òfin ilẹ̀ yìí tó fààyè gba ẹ̀tọ́ táwọn èèyàn ní láti gbé níbikíbi tó bá wù wọ́n lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. Ó wá rọ ìjọba àpapọ̀ láti tètè dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ náà. Ilé Àwíyé Òkèbalẹ̀ Òṣogbo la ti ń ròyìn láti iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Ọ̀ṣun. Ẹgbẹ́ iṣẹ́ pàtàkì tá a ní fún yín, ojúṣe tó lórí tẹ̀lẹ́mù lọ́rọ̀ ààbò ẹ̀mí àti dúkìá jẹ́, nítorí náà má ṣe káwọ́ gbéra. Lẹ́yìn ìkọlù tó wáyé ní St Francis Catholic Church Ọ̀wọ̀ ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo lọ́jọ́ ìsinmi ìjẹta, nínú èyí tí ohun tó lé ní 50 èèyàn ti pàdánù ẹ̀mí, olú iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ilẹ̀ yìí ti ní òun kẹ́fìn àdó olóró 3 tí kò tí ì bú tí wọ́n kẹ́ sínú ọgbà ilé ìjọsìn náà. Èyí jẹyọ nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tí alukoro iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ilẹ̀ yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Múyìwá Ọ̀dẹ́jọbí fi síta lásìkò tó ń ṣàlàyé nípa ìwádìí tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ lórí ìkọlù náà. Gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe wí, ikọ̀ olùwádìí iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá tó ń kẹ́fìn àwọn ohun ìjà olóró míì nínú ọgbà ilé ìjọsìn ọ̀hún. Ìbànújẹ́ dorí àgbàkodò lágbègbè kan níjọba ìbílẹ̀ ìwọ̀ oòrùn Òwèrì ìpínlẹ̀ Imo nígbà táwọn olùgbé agbègbè ọ̀hún bá òkú ọkùnrin kan tórúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Kingsley Oguze, ọmọ rẹ̀ obìnrin àti aya rẹ̀ tó lóyún, tó fi mọ́ àwọn 4 míì nínú ilé wọn lágbègbè ọ̀hún. Àwọn aládùúgbò tó gbé àwọn èèyàn náà dìgbàdìgbà lọ sílé ìwòsàn ṣàlàyé pé 7 lára àwọn èèyàn 11 tí wọ́n gbé lọ sílé ìwòsàn ló kú nífọ̀nàfọ̀nṣù. Ìròyìn fi yé ni pé àwọn kan tí wọ́n fura sí bí abẹ̀wẹ̀ pani ló gba orí òrùlé wọ ilé ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kingsley tí wọ́n sì fín kẹ́míkà olóró sínú ilé ọ̀hún lásìkò táwọn èèyàn náà ń sùn. Ẹ̀wẹ̀, agbẹnusọ fún iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Imo Michael Abatam kò tí ì sọ ohunkóhun nípa ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí títí àkókò tá à ń kó ìròyìn yìí jọ. Nílẹ̀ òkèèrè, ààrẹ ilẹ̀ Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky ti sọ ìdí mọ̀ pé ọwọ́ àwọn ológun ilẹ̀ Russia ti ń dun àwọn ológun ti Ukraine, gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè náà ṣe ń gbìyànjú àti rí pé ìlú tó wà lápá ìlà oòrùn orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀hún kò bọ́ sọ́wọ́ ilẹ̀ Russia. Àmọ́ ṣá, orílẹ̀-èdè Russia ti fẹ̀sùn kàn pé orílẹ̀-èdè Bulgaria àtàwọn orílẹ̀-èdè míì gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ọlọ̀tẹ̀ lẹ́yìn táwọn orílẹ̀-èdè náà kò jẹ́ kí mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ ilẹ̀ òkèèrè ọ̀hún ó gbójú òfurufú wọn kọjá lọ sí Serbia. Ní báyìí, orílẹ̀-èdè Russia ti ní òun yóò gbé ìgbésẹ̀ lórí báwọn orílẹ̀-èdè alágbára lágbàáyé ṣe ń fi ohun ìjà olóró ṣàtìlẹ́yìn fúnlẹ̀ Ukraine. Ẹ̀wẹ̀, mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ àṣà àti ètò ìrìn nílẹ̀ Ukraine ti ní ó kéré tán àwọn oníròyìn 22 ló ti pàdánù ẹ̀mí ní Ukraine látìgbà tílẹ̀ Russia ti ṣígun sórílẹ̀-èdè náà. Ǹjẹ́ ká tó mú ìròyìn ní kùtù àìwá sópin, kókó ohun amẹ́nubà rèé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn gómìnà lápá àríwá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti nílá apá gúúsù ilẹ̀ yìí nípò ààrẹ kan pẹ̀lú àlàyé pé ààrẹ Buhari kò ní ààyò kankan nínú àwọn tó ń gbèrò láti dupò ààrẹ lábẹ́ àsíá ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC. Iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ilẹ̀ yìí ti kéde pé òun kẹ́fìn àdó olóró 3 ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ tí kò tí ì bú nínú ọgbà ilé ìjọsìn Catholic táwọn adàlúrú kọlù nílùú Ọ̀wọ̀ lọ́jọ́ ìsinmi tó kọjá. Ọkùnrin kan, ọmọ rẹ̀ obìnrin, aya rẹ̀ tó lóyún àtàwọn 4 míì ti dòkú sínú ilégbèé wọn níjọba ìbílẹ̀ kan nípínlẹ̀ Imo. Iléeṣẹ́ tó wà fọ́rọ̀ àṣà àti ètò ìrìnlẹ̀ Ukraine ti ní ó kéré tán oníròyìn 22 ló pàdánù ẹ̀mí látìgbà tílẹ̀ Russia ti ṣígun sórílẹ̀-èdè Ukraine. Èyí lópin rẹ̀ ní kùtù àì Lateef Agboola lólóòtú, Mojíbọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Ọ̀kẹ́ ló mú wá sétí gbọ̀yìn. Èrò tiwa tòní ti Adùn Adé Àmọ̀wókọ ló dá lórí ìpèsè àyíká tó dúró re fún ìdàgbàsókè ètò ọrọ̀ ajé àti ohun amúlùúdùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́.
ṣe dáadáa láwùjọ àgbáyé láti nǹkan bí ọdún 1950 tó fi di ẹ̀yìn ìgbà tó gbòmìnira lọ́dún 1960. lára àwọn tó sì jọjú tílẹ̀ yìí ṣe nígbà náà ni ẹ̀pà láti apá òkè ọya tó fi mọ́ ọ̀gbìn kòkó lọ́pọ̀ yanturu nílẹ̀ káàárọ̀ òjíire àti èédú ṣíṣe lápá ìlà oòrùn orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà. àwọn ohun tílẹ̀ yìí ń fi ṣe agbára lẹ́ka ètò ọrọ̀ ajé nígbà náà lè yí ṣùgbọ́n bó ti kù díẹ̀ kílẹ̀ yóò gbòmìnira lọ́wọ́ àwọn òyìnbó amúnisìn ni wọ́n kẹ́ fi epo rọ̀bì ní olóìbìrí lágbègbè Niger Delta. láti ìgbà náà ni nǹkan ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rọ̀ṣọ̀mọ̀ fúnlẹ̀ nàìjíríà ṣùgbọ́n kò pẹ́ ní ebi ọ̀pàgbà fọ́mẹ́kẹ́ ti di tọrọ fọkalẹ̀ láwùjọ ilẹ̀ nàìjíríà. tètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ ìwá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fẹ̀gbẹ́ wọn gànà bí wọ́n ní bí ò bá nídìí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kan kì í dédé ṣẹ́ni. ìtàkùn tó ta mẹ́sẹ̀ ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yìí ló sọ àjànàkú ilẹ̀ yìí dèrà lásán. iná àpà látọwọ́ 64 ni wọ́n gba òmìnira lọ́wọ́ àwọn amúnisìn. ní kété tí wọ́n sì gba òmìnira ọ̀hún tán ni olóòtú ilẹ̀ ọ̀hún nígbà náà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lee Kuan Yew ló mú àyípadà láìlẹ́gbẹ́ àti ìdàgbàsókè àwòdámi ẹnu bá orílẹ̀-èdè Singapore. tètò ọrọ̀ ajé wọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe dáadáa láwùjọ àgbáyé. ká tó ṣẹ́jú pẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè Singapore ti ń bẹ lára àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè lẹ́yìn tí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé wọn jẹ́ àwòkọ́ṣe fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó kù. báwọn orílẹ̀-èdè alágbára ní àgbáyé ṣe kẹ́fì èyí wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lee Kuan Yew wípé ọgbọ́n wo gan-an ni wọ́n dá sí tí ilẹ̀ Singapore fi fò fẹ̀rẹ̀ tó dé tí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé rẹ̀ gòkè àgbà. ó dá wọn lóhùn wípé òun kò dá ọgbọ́n kankan kọjá wípé àyípadà pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ kan làwọn mú bá ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ náà ló fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe dáadáa. ó wá jẹ́ ohun tó bani lọ́kàn jẹ́ wípé pẹ̀lú gbogbo àwọn lọ́pọlọ pípẹ́ tẹ́dùn àfitì ìkìlẹ̀ yìí a ò tí ì rí ìyanjú sí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé tó ti rún bí aṣọnú agbọ̀n. tètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yìí wá dúró lójú kan bí omi adágún kò sí ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé nínú àwọn tó jẹ́ ògùn nágbòǹgbò lọ́pọlọ pípẹ́ nílẹ̀ yìí mọ́. Elédùà nìkan là ń rawọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ sí láti tún orí ọmọ tuntun ilẹ̀ yìí tó ti wọ́ ṣe kó lè padà di ilẹ̀ tó ń ṣàn fún wàrà àti fún oyin. èrò tí wọ́n gbàgbọ́ wípé ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yìí ti kó ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì ọkàn bá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ènìyàn tí wọn ò sì ní ìgbọ́kànlé nínú àwọn ọlọ́pọlọ pípẹ́ ilẹ̀ yìí mọ́ tí wọ́n sì ń kígbe lóhùn rárá sẹ́lẹ̀dùà láti pèsè olórí eléyìí tí yóò mú òpin dé bá ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yìí èyí tó ń ṣòjòjò ìjẹ́ ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà àti ìwà jẹgúdújẹrá tó ti di àmì ìdánimọ̀ ilẹ̀ nàìjíríà kétò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yóò lè di sísọ lọ́tún bí ẹni sọgbá. èrò tí wọ́n tún gbà pé ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yìí ti dójú agbami ṣùgbọ́n kò lọ síwá tàbí sẹ́yìn mọ́ ojú kan náà ló sì wà bí omi adágún. èrò tí wọ́n wá gba àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ yìí níyànjú láti máa ṣe dákẹ́ àdúrà kó gbogbo bá lè sàn wá bọ̀ nílẹ̀ yìí.
èrò tiwa tẹ́ gbọ́ tán ló dá lórí ìpèsè àyíká tó dúró re fún ìdàgbàsókè ètò ọrọ̀ ajé Adùnadé àmọ́ olóko Olúwafẹ́mi Kúṣìmọ̀ ló kà á lédè Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí àkó àjíòde.